business, it's linked to business issues, but we've also noticed that in terms of project management, over the following years, there really needs to be awareness raising on this methodology, on conducting the analysis correctly. So that was the point, to launch it in batches. Once all the input is stabilized, that's all well and good, but we prefer to be able to influence major risks from the beginning in order to avoid inputting wrong data. And here is the screen again. We can move on to the third subject, which is co-construction. If you really want to implicate to involve the business, the person needs to be able to see the risks of their sector, but the risks, and what we didn't have on the platform. So we had a risk analysis that was compartmentalized. And if, for example, we wanted the manager of the online bank to discuss the risks. So what we did, we worked together on this need in order to have only one user interface. And so we worked on risk consolidation, which we announced in version 5 of the software, which was delivered a bit early for La Banque Postale, but which our other clients will be able to benefit from. It means that industrials or big clients that want to see the segmentation by system or subsystem are able to see it. So indeed, co-construction was one of the things promised by EGERIE in the beginning. So what I was telling you about having projects that consume standard IT capacities. So in the beginning, we were following a heritage system or legacy system. And so asking ourselves, what am I inheriting when using this IT platform? Are there residual risks? And so we moved on from this approach where we could have independent analysis. Now we've moved to being able to select for one given project the risks of a sub-platform, and then integrate them into the analysis, and then discuss this with the boss of the department. Say, for example, that the app, which is working with certain IT systems, has certain risks, and right now you don't necessarily have all the levers to fix the issue. And that also creates a partnership dynamic. And a clear vision of responsibilities, because in terms of accepting the risks, it is so the director who decided to move on to this platform also agrees to the risks that come with. So the second step that we co-constructed with EGERIE was to have, so I won't go into details about DORA, but DORA is kind of pushing us in that direction to have an integrated vision of the cyber risk. So even though we talk about third parties a lot, we're trying to convince companies to use a native top-down approach where we move on from the initial process to the IT infrastructure that can support it, but not the other way around. So this idea of consolidation goes from front to back. I have this process supported by internal or external infrastructures, but allows us to have a comprehensive vision of the risks linked to these processes, which can sometimes be cross-cutting. And that will allow us in the future at the Banque Postale to move on from a governance that was centered around entities to make it more precise, have a more precise governance. And so our goal is to have governance that is around the processes.
So, I have a few questions around your project. I'd like to know, what's the business case for this? In general, companies might be interested in apps that are more functional or functionally oriented. And tell us about the cost as well. And the time that it takes. Did it take 1 year, 3 years? Okay, well, for the business case, I'd say that, we were expecting it to take about a year to put in place. In the beginning, our work around the methodologies was coming from our CRM originally. And so, we weren't having to start from zero. And so it didn't take too long to do that, but a lot of time was devoted to change management. So there was people on my team, I'd say, well, 2 full-time equivalents for 6 months, and then less. Okay, so it does take quite an investment in the beginning. This is software as a service. So any new project, including ours, we have to go through an approval process as well, and that takes time. So looking at the business case, as Jean has said, this approach allows us to better steer the cybersecurity function, which is more efficient, that was being done, very much manually before. And now, thanks to the platform, there's a lot of investment in the beginning, the license fees, etc. But at the end of the day, it represents a good savings for the Banque Postale. And secondly, we invested in some specific developments as well, depending on the function. Okay, and so not just a one-size-fits-all model. And so that also, allows us to go from the 500 analyses at 5,000 euros. Maybe we can do 300, it's savings, okay? And so it was important to go through all these steps to achieve those savings. All right, so, well, if there's no more time for one last question, otherwise you can come and see us at the stand. So, can it be integrated with GRC tools to evaluate vulnerabilities? So, can you tell us about that? Okay, it's true that we're at a certain crossroads. We're trying to centralize information, but you have to be able to pick up the information here and there via either questionnaires, connectors, and we're rolling out some new methods for gathering the information. Okay, looking at vulnerabilities, this can be on components, other threat monitoring, and in terms of the output, yes, we are looking at GRCs for the risk mapping of a company. And so, we need to be able to put all of that in place. And so it's true that any platform like ours needs to be able to integrate into the ecosystem of a company. So come and see us near the organizer stand. We're there if you want to find out more. And François will be with us at our stand the rest of the afternoon. Thank you.